It's been a while, y'all. You are listening
Wait a
to
minute.
the B.I.G. Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G. Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show.
Welcome
And
back.
it's
It's been
been
a
a minute.
year-long break.
Yeah, we back. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Just to let you know, as always, we are live on YouTube right now. You can catch us on all the podcast platforms. And if you do have Spotify, you will get to see our beautiful faces when we drop and download the pod. Hey man, we are back. What's going on, Garland? What's going on with you?
Hey, y'all. It's been a minute. We know y'all missed us during the summer. Thank you, everybody, for possibly tuning back in. We probably lost our audience. We got to work to get them back up. Man, it's been vacation. It's been hot. We've been. I haven't been to baseball game in over a month. I think at the beginning of the month when we went to the day game, and so yeah, just trying to really get back in the pocket, man, of doing this stuff. We were trying to meet a week or so ago. It might have been 2 weeks ago, and it just didn't work out. And so much has passed. You know, normally it's a dead summer, so
Mhm.
actually it plays right into whatever we're doing because it ain't nothing to talk about. But this summer it's been a lot to talk about. And
It
so
has.
yeah. What about yourself, bro?
Hey man, just chilling. We've been relaxing a lot. We've been making some moves. We every weekend it seems like we got either a wedding engagement or some sort of graduation or some. We just been on the move as old people, and then in between that, the baby coming over, the landlord coming over, and
Right.
letting us know that he need his money and shit. And other than that, we've just been cool. And now we getting ready for some trips now starting August through October. We got some trips to go to. We're gonna start getting some miles in there.
Last show until October, y'all. So get ready. Giving you awarded now. Last show until October. So
Well, I know how to go mobile now, so I might go mobile. I might go mobile. We'll
right,
see. We'll
right,
see.
right. Y'all, ever since I did this hip hop podcast, Calvin that gave me the producer stuff, and now he's slick with it. Yeah, go ahead and start the podcast. Go ahead, you go ahead and hit the producer link. It used to be he was the producer, but now yeah, go ahead hit that link. I'm gonna be in the backyard and
Hey
doing a
man,
libation.
it's nice out here. We got a little deck. We paid money for this deck. I got to get the most out of it. Look, next time you might see me grilling. Shit, I paid money for the grill. Well, you was
Did
there.
you
I ain't paid money for the grill. I won that motherfucker on
did
answers that I got wrong.
did you ask the raccoons and squirrels for permission to be on that deck?
Man, so the raccoons have since left. The foxes are coming through, but they seem to only come through early in the morning or late at night. But I haven't seen them in a while. Now the
Mm,
cats are back, but it's only one cat and his baby. So I guess this is just like a pet B&B around this motherfucker
right.
because these animals just be in and out this bitch weekly and shit. But I don't see no.
Yeah, wait until them old people start coming up in your yard too. You gonna be coming up and somebody gonna be on that grill, and it ain't gonna be you.
Ugh, ugh.
Man, let's go ahead and get into it, bro. Since it's been a minute, we hadn't done this in a while. So, welcome to the BIG show. Hey, man, this the number one topic that we're going to talk about. LeBron James, he signs with the Sixers. LeBron James, age 41, has signed a 2-year, $8 million contract with a player option with the Philadelphia Sixers. LeBron joins former NBA Finals MVP Jalen Brown, who was acquired in a trade with the Boston Celtics. One of the NBA's top guards in Tyrese Maxey, former NBA MVP and perennial All Star center Joel Embiid, and second year rising player VJ Edcombe, who made All Rookie last year, to form a very formidable starting five that will compete with the defending champion New York Knicks and others for the not only the Eastern Conference but for the NBA title. On Friday, LeBron posted to X, "This is my decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What I'm really playing for at this point, I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I am so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA, Miami, I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio will always be home." And so, when you got this news last week, what were some of your initial thoughts when you heard about LeBron signing with the Sixers? And does this signing make the Sixers the favorite to win the NBA championship? So let's start with the first one. What was your initial thoughts when you heard about this news of LeBron signing with the 76ers?
So I'm a Laker fan, so it disappointed me that we didn't get anything for him. I mean, we could have traded him mid-season last season or something, or did a sign and trade. So I'm disappointed that we didn't get anything for him. We just let him walk. But I mean, whatever. Hey man, thanks for being a Laker. I mean, you didn't get the rings like we wanted you to get. You didn't follow the path of the Magic and the Kobe. But hey, you got a ring. Albeit Garland don't think it's worth anything. The records still say you got one for us. So I'm
It's an
not mad at him.
illegitimate
Hey,
ring and an
good
outside
riddance.
foul ring. Yeah,
I'm
that
not a
outside
LeBron
baby
hater.
ring.
I'm not a LeBron lover, but I'm not a hater. I'm not paying no attention to that, man. I'm not a LeBron lover, but I'm also not a LeBron hater. So, it's all good. Go do what you gotta do, whatever's best for you and your family. I don't think he's going after Jordan like most of us have always thought. I
Sure.
think he just wants to be the first guy to win four titles with four different teams. Then he'll pass Robert Ory, Danny. Oh man, what's his name? Danny that played with the Sixers, then played with the Lakers also. And it's one more person, John Sally. John
Danny
Sally did
Green.
it on the back end of his career. Danny Green, that's it.
Yeah.
And John Sally did it on the back end of his career. So I don't know if his really counts. So LeBron probably just wants to be the first, hold his own title there. I mean, he got the scoring title, but hold another title. First with four different teams, that'll put him in further elite company.
When I first heard the news, I was kind of like, I think I was not necessarily shocked because I was like, I think this gives him the best chance to get to a finals. It would have been, like every fantasy player's dream to see him playing with Steph and end up there. For all of the people who love a good closing story, yes, it would have been great to see him go back home to Cleveland. I think I said the last time that we recorded 2 years ago that um, I didn't think he was going to go back to Cleveland because I didn't think he did do overs, and so I'm not surprised that he did not go back to Cleveland. Um, After a while, I really did not think that Golden State was a serious place because it's just tougher in the West. I mean, you got OKC, you got the Spurs, you have several other teams. Is very logjam with a lot of young players that you would have to really get through to get to a finals. And I thought wherever he was going to go, it has to be a team that is finals ready. And I think once the Sixers got Jalen Brown, that made them the favorite. And so I was not necessarily surprised about him ending up there because I think this team gives him the best pathway to get to another championship. I do think that, this puts the Sixers up in like the top five for favorite to win the championship. You just have to see how the season plays out. You have to see how the chemistry plays out with the players. You have to see what injury happens. I mean, no one really picked the Knicks last year, to get to the finals. It was all about chemistry. It was all about timing because you had so many injuries on other Eastern Conference teams. Indiana, Boston, they all experienced major injuries. These were two of the major teams last year. This year, they came back and had to really work through a lot of injuries. And so, we'll see what happens, but it just definitely places them up in the top five, in my top five, I would think, for an NBA championship. What do you think for yourself? Does this, make them the favorite, or does them put them pretty close?
I think it makes them the favorite at least to come out of the East. As far as winning the whole thing, I still got San Antonio and OKC in front of them, but it definitely makes them the favorite to come out of the East. And I think this also takes a whole lot of pressure off of Joel Embiid. Now, I thought the Jalen Brown signing would take a lot of pressure off of Embiid too, because he doesn't have to be the superstar of the team. But I think this even takes even more pressure off of him. So yeah, I definitely have them coming out the East. I mean, all things being equal right now, I have them coming out of the East.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. The next thing I want to talk about is LeBron's legacy. And do you think the signing taints LeBron's legacy? You mentioned it a little bit earlier. This will be LeBron's fourth team. Started with the Cavs, went to Miami, came back to Cleveland, went to LA. Now he's going, as a matter of fact, I believe LA, they say it's the longest team that he's been with. And now he's going to Philadelphia. What do you think this will How do you think this will impact his legacy when we look at LeBron's legacy? Because when we look at these other legacy players, they've made their bones, they've made their icon status with one organization. Kareem, although he started with the Bucks, we more so know him being with the Lakers, Magic, Lakers, Kobe, Lakers, Bird, Boston. Um, you have other players that wear. I mean, Steph, Golden State, and so what do you think? What type of impact do you think this will have on LeBron's legacy?
Yeah, so I first want to temper these legacy and one team things. Now, generally they usually go to another team when their career is about over. I don't really count Jordan's because I think Jordan knew it was over for him. He was trying to start something different. But let's look at Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley went from the Sixers to the Phoenix and in his to Phoenix in his prime. He went to Houston. And didn't he end up at Portland? I think
No,
Charles
no, no.
played
He
for
ended it. He ended in Houston. He
he
ended
ended
in
so he
Houston.
he had three teams. Shaq went to what,
Shaq,
about four or
several
five
teams.
different teams.
Yeah, several teams.
Kobe actually wanted out of LA at one point. So I think we get caught up in that nostalgia. Although I do agree that we our generation looks at legacy, but who's the team that you were with and stayed with the longest. I think this new generation, I don't think they really care. There'll be some grumblings about it, but LeBron hasn't lost any fans. He gains his fans when he goes to different cities. You see, Kevin Durant did the same thing. He lost his OKC fans, but he hasn't really lost any fans. You know what I mean? So it's kind of what they do now. For us, we're always going to look at it like, well, Jordan would never. Magic would never. That's how
Right.
we compare legacy. We say it like that. But I mean, at this point, LeBron has solidified himself as one of the greatest. I'm giving him number two all time. And so I don't think this necessarily hurts him. I don't think it gains him anything. If he wins a ring, it probably will, but I don't think it hurts him.
Yeah, yeah, you can say that he's cherry picked his teams, especially after his first tenure in Cleveland. He cherry picked the Heat. He cherry picked coming back to Cleveland. He cherry picked the Lakers. And now he's cherry picking the 76ers. But like you said, I don't think this generation necessarily cares about that. To me, maybe this is more of showing LeBron's legacy of controlling his free agency, of controlling his legacy, of deciding where he wants to go, when he wants to go. I don't think we've seen a player with more power in the game than LeBron. And I mean more power than Jordan. Yes, we all look up to Jordan. Yeah, Jordan, but Jordan really did not call the last shots on the Bulls. Jerry Krause did. when Jerry Krause decided it was time for a change and to move Phil Jackson out, it wasn't nothing that Jordan could do. He was ready to move on. When he wanted to make those changes in the organization, he did. And so with LeBron, I think this is more so the opposite. It just shows that LeBron has been able to control his legacy as opposed to being caught to the whim of ownership and management. Uh, I'm sorry, you gonna say something, bro?
No, no, I'm just
Oh,
agreeing
okay.
with you. I absolutely
Okay.
agree with you.
Thank you. Hey man, on a serious note, thank you. On a serious note, uh, does Bronny hate his dad for leaving him in LA?
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. If there is a knock on LeBron about one thing, I think that he's too passive, or maybe he forgives too much. He should have never gone back to Cleveland the way the Cleveland owner just ripped him up in the news. And now you're going to a team where Jalen Brown said your son was trash. Like,
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? So I don't think Bronny would be mad at him for leaving him in LA. He might be side-eyeing him. How you gonna go to a team where the dude said I was trash? Now maybe they made up or whatever, but still, if I'd be like, Dad, you of all people. Yeah, so that's the only thing. But again, we don't know the inner workings. They could have made up or whatever a long time ago. But I know I'd
Hey,
be like, yeah, you want to talk about my
bro.
son? Oh, I ain't never coming to play with you.
I will not be shocked that at some point during the season, or maybe heading into training camp, Bronny gets cut and he ends up in Philly. I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if Bronny ends up on that roster some way, somehow before the season's over.
I think Bronny want to
I'm putting it out
make
there
his
now.
own way. I think he
He ain't
want to
making
make
his
his
own
own
way.
way.
What he gonna make his own way off of his playing ability?
And I mean, you know what? You're right, because we talked about this before. Listen, nepotism happens everywhere. Why not let it
Yes,
happen in basketball? Shit.
I ain't mad
If
at
it
it.
was my son, he'd come with me too. Give him all this money. And he need that contract. He coming with
Trust
me.
me, it's happening with all these head coaches hiring their sons and everything. It's already
This is
happening,
true.
but it's just not happening for the players. But yeah, I would not be surprised at some point Bronny ends up in Philly. So just be on the lookout for it. You heard it here first on the B.I.G show. I ain't talked to Shams or nobody. We ain't got no inside information. We just letting you know. Don't be surprised if Bronny end up talking about he growing a beard and he up in North Philly about to go get a cheesesteak. All right, man. Hey, training camp is opening. Thank God, because we're tired of the Orioles around here. The Ravens open training
Oof.
camp on Wednesday, and for the first time in 15 years, Calvin's favorite head coach, John Harbaugh, is not in the lead position. The Ravens hired Jesse Minter, former defensive coordinator for the Chargers, as you know, as their new head coach, and he's brought in a totally new coaching staff on both sides of the ball for what will be a very pivotal season for the. It seems like all the seasons are pivotal, but I do
Yes.
believe this is definitely a very pivotal season for the franchise. So, Calvin, for you, with training camp opening, get ready to go into the season, what are a couple of the biggest stories for you heading into this training camp?
Yeah, and I'm just going to kind of piggyback off of what you said. We all say it's a pivotal season, but just like we say every year, this is Lamar's biggest season. The
Yeah.
pressure is on him. You don't have Harbaugh to blame it on anymore. You don't have Munkin to blame it on anymore. So this is everybody's going to be looking at you to have a great year, a Super Bowl year. Now, of course, we know that he's been voted 69 by the players. If that ain't motivation, I don't know what else is. But I mean, it's gonna be uh pressure filled, but I think Lamar can handle it. So that's one thing that I think about. Another one is the offensive line. I think we all kind of just glide by the fact that we don't really have a good center yet. They did bring in
True.
another veteran. They're going to try out at center, but I think we've been taking for granted in this offseason what Linderbaum meant to the team and what he meant to Lamar. Now he wasn't the biggest guy, but he was a very good center. Clearly, he's the highest paid center there is now. So I really think that's going to be the one thing in training camp that I'm going to be listening for. Of course, I can't sit there and evaluate centers. You're not going to get much tape in the public on centers, so you got to kind of
Right.
listen to all the reports to see what they're saying about the center, and hopefully there'll be some good ones and there'll be some accurate ones. And of course, we still have the wide receiver. They signed Chris Moore. They didn't sign another big time wide receiver, so it seems like they want to go with the Bateman, Flowers, and the Tez Walker
Yeah.
top three combination to see how that works out with their rookies. And then, of course, like I said, they just signed Chris Moore back. And of course, the tight ends, we'll see what Mark is going to do, and the pass rush. So those are the normal things. But when it comes to the center and the pressure on Lamar, I think those are the two biggest things that I'm going to be listening and looking for during training camp.
Yeah, someone asked me, they were like, how come they didn't go get DeAndre Hopkins? Well, Chris Moore can play special teams. I don't see DeAndre Hopkins up
Right,
there
right.
covering punts or on kickoff. And so that's why you sign a Chris Moore, because he can give you a little bit more and he can give it to you cheaper. And so I do believe that they're going to rock with, Tez Walker, Bateman, and Flowers, and see what happens with these rookies. If it doesn't look good in training camp and then preseason, I'm sure DeAndre is going to be out there. Nobody's knocking down his door to sign him. DeAndre and a couple other people will be out there, and they'll have their pickings of some veterans that could possibly bring in if these young guys don't work out. I mean, I'm talking about Walker and the two rookies that they drafted.
Hmm.
For me, biggest story is Jesse Minter. He's coming into a high pressure situation because you got rid of the head coach because you couldn't get past the divisional. This guy, he's going to have to take them deep in the playoffs. He can't come in and they make the wild card and we be like, oh, okay, that was good. No, this was a team last year that we thought was AFC Championship Super Bowl worthy, and not too much changed. I mean, outside of losing Lindenbaum, and yeah, you lost a couple other people, but you still got Lamar. You still have some of your great players at vital positions. I mean, this is not a rebuilding year. This is not a retool year like a lot of these head coaches come in. It's a retool year. This is a you need to take us far year. And so to me, that's the biggest story heading to this camp. Is like this guy's going to have to get this defense together. That has been probably, if the offensive line is 1A of the issues, the defense is 1B. And he's going to have to get that defense together. We're going to have to get a pass rush. We're going to have to do better in coverage. We're going to have to do better in mixing it up against these teams where they're just not coming out and picking the Ravens apart in the run and pass game. And so I want to see what happens on the defensive side of the ball. I agree with you. The offensive line was very vital. I don't know how many times we need to say this, but protecting Lamar is a premium. And we saw, because they went cheap on the offensive line the last couple years, because Lamar has the ability to evade the rush. It paid them back last season because he got nicked up, he got injured, and the play fell. And so you have to protect Lamar. And so I think they've done a good job of going out and getting as many bodies as they can, and see if the guy that they hired away from Atlanta can coach them up and get them ready and execute. And so I think that's very important as well. And so, like I said, Mentor's coming in. It's a lot of pressure to go ahead and win immediately. I want to see what happens on the defensive side of the ball. We have to get better defensively, and the offensive line. You got to protect Lamar. Lamar's your franchise. And I think, this protection of Lamar and this investment in the line, um, You mentioned a little earlier about him being ranked 69th, and we know all these things. I don't think half these people fill these out. They probably take it to their girlfriends or their children, tell them just go ahead and pick somebody. It like I told you, I've shared my experience on here. I'm an adjunct professor at a local university. I don't think people really halfway fill out those teacher evaluations at the end of the semester. I'd be seeing so many crazy things on it. I just think people just write anything, and I think it's the same thing with these uh player 100 things. It's no way that Lamar can be number two one year and 69 the next.
It's no
But
way. It's no way.
it's no way. It's no way. But I think for one thing, though, Baltimore has always shown that they love Lamar. And I'm talking about the organization, not the city. The city's always done that as well. But in terms of other organizations, Calvin, I still don't think other organizations really respect him as a quarterback, as a legitimate top five, top seven, top three, top four, whatever top quarterback. And I think that bodes well for the Ravens because the Ravens has always treated him and compensated him as a true number one. And I think when it comes time to try to get this contract together, that's going to mean a lot. So, I think their performance, what happens this year, them protecting Lamar, it's also going to pay when they go to try to get this contract with Lamar as well.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. All right, we're agreeing on everything because we ain't been together in a while. So we got a baseball ticket Friday. So we'll be fussing again, and then we'll be back with regular fussing, like we always do. We're agreeing too much on this. All right, man. Baltimore Orioles, they still suck. After building up some momentum for the third wild card spot by winning 7 straight. The Orioles have lost 4 of the last 6, and they currently sit in fourth place in the AL East at 51 and 55. They are still struggling to score runs. They are 22nd in the MLB in terms of offense. The relief pitching is horrible. Calvin, they only have a combined 25 saves as a staff. That's crazy. I mean, there's some teams where you have closers that have just as many saves individually as the team has collectively. So the relief pitching is very horrible. They get a lead, they bring in someone, they promptly give back up the lead. And to say this, the defense is putrid. They're tied for first in errors. I mean, we see our boy Jackson Holiday on here. He's leading second baseman in errors in the league. He had a terrible error the other night in the Braves game. They had one play where the guy he hit a ball to right field. He stumbles. Talking about the Braves player. He stumbles coming around second. The throw is there. The shortstop, who's horrible at shortstop as well, Gunner, who's on this picture as well, can't make the dig. The guy stumbles and falls halfway between first and second. But because Gunner couldn't catch the ball, the guy's safe at second. And I think that run went ahead to score. And so this team, every time they win 5, they lose 10. They win 6, they lose 12. And so should the Orioles be sellers or buyers at the trade deadline next week?
It's first of all, it's such a frustrating team to watch. We were there that Friday night when Jackson made that horrible error that he trapped the ball, and instead of just getting the out at first, he tries to turn the double play and just sails it into left
Yes.
field, which eventually brought in the winning run because the next inning the Orioles could not score enough runs to tie the game back up after the home run. But because of that, the pitcher throws and gives up a 3-run home run. If Gunner just makes, I mean, if Jackson just makes the play, then we would have been out of the inning a batter later. But it's so frustrating. You talked about the saves. Well, you can't get saves if you ain't going into the eighth and ninth inning with the lead, and they ain't ever going into the eighth and ninth inning with the lead or barely with the lead. I mean, there's such a frustrating team. Now, to answer the question, I'm still holding out hope that they can get this wild card spot. The 2.5 games out of that last
Uh,
wild card.
I'm gonna call
The
you
two and a half
Jesse
games out
Cash
the
and
last
keep
wild
hope
card.
alive.
and and even though the relief pitching isn't the greatest. The starting pitching is actually been amazing.
Been very
The
good.
starting pitching is really doing its thing right now. So they still have a shot, but if you're not going to be able to get you a third baseman with the glove and a bat, another stick in the lineup, you actually at this point don't even need another starting pitcher because you got two of them that are signed and playing well. You got Brandon Young, then you got Trevor Rogers after that. I mean,
Yeah. All right. It's rough. I mean, to
they
me,
should
this
they got to go after a bat. They got to go after a bat. A bat with the glove, either in the outfield or the infield. They got to go after a bat if they're going to be biased.
well, I will say this. Okay. I'm gonna keep hope alive with you. Let's see how they do this weekend in Detroit. They head to Detroit, got a 3-game series. If they come out of this series losing all of those games, then you've got to be a seller. Um, this
Agreed.
is just a,
Detroit is right
yeah.
behind them. So if they
Detroit
if
is
they
right
don't,
behind them.
yeah, if they don't win that series, then Detroit will have leapfrogged them for the next spot. Closer to the next spot. So I agree. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we
Yeah.
say every series is important, but right now this is
Yeah.
really a critical
This is
series.
very important, and if they can't get these games, then they've got to go ahead and sell. I mean, we've already talked about it. Mike Elias, this is a poorly constructed roster. You know, you can't win games if you can't play defense. I think that was the calling card of Earl Weaver. You had to be able to field the infield. I mean, I saw something on Twitter, on X. They had Mark Belanger, then you followed Mark Belanger
Oh
with
yeah, yeah. With Cal
oh,
comes after Belanger.
yeah, Cal comes
Yeah.
after Belanger,
Well, you
and
got Aparicio before
yeah.
Belanger.
So
Don't
you had
forget about yeah.
Aparicio. Thank you. So you had Aparicio, Belanger, and then Cal at short.
And
Those
then Bordick
guys,
after that. I
right?
mean,
These
gloves.
these are four people that were in the top five all time in percentage in terms of defensive percentage at shortstop. You have Brooks at third, uh, one of the top third baseman ever defensively in the game. You had great second baseman, Rich Dower, Bobby Grich, who was a great defensive second baseman as well as had a good stick as well. You had Eddie Murray at first, one of the greatest defensive first basemen to ever play the game. You have to have a solid infield. And this team, man, they can't make basic plays on the infield. And it just bites them. And I mean, outside of the fact that they can't hit and, they get runners in scoring position, they get bases loaded and no outs, they hit into double play or they strike out, the side strikes out. And so
They were 0 for
sometimes,
10 yesterday with runners in scoring position. 0
wow.
for 10.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the Orioles. That's been the Orioles this season, and sometimes in handling this pitching staff, especially going into the late innings, Albanez he seems like he's overmatched. I don't know what decisions he's making. How you bring in Rich Garcia in several games? Every game that he's brought Rich Garcia in with a lead, Rich Garcia has promptly given up the tying home run in the game, but he keeps bringing him in. And so and I know it's not much there, and but sometimes he's like Friday he had Rogers. I think Rogers had 88 pitches going into the seventh. He takes Rogers out. How
We,
come you're not
we were
pitching
wondering why
Rogers
he
into
took
the
him out.
eighth?
We were wondering he had given up at that point. He had given up 2 runs. Just keep playing him.
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
and I know we
you're getting
baby
my
these
pressure up.
arms now. It's not the era of Jim Palmer when he completed 25 games in one season. We never gonna see that again. I understand we're not gonna see that again because of the amount of investment in these pitchers and stuff. People don't want to put that type of risk in the amount of investment in terms of money that they're putting on pitching. because the person can get hurt and they be gone for 2 years. But the Orioles have got to get better in all phases of the game, and we'll see. We're holding out hope. We'll see what happens in this upcoming series versus the Tigers. Sunday, Calvin, was the ceremony for the Hall of Fame. This year, they admitted three people into the Hall of Fame, three players. Carlos Beltran, he was voted in his fourth year of eligibility. And he was a dynamic five-tool switch hitter with 435 home runs and 312 stolen bases. Andrew Jones, he was elected in his ninth year on the ballot. He's celebrated as one of the greatest defensive center fielders in the history of baseball with 10 consecutive Gold Glove awards, and he's hit 434 career home runs. And Jeff Kent, he was voted in through a special committee, and he's noted as a prolific slugging second baseman. He was a 2000 National League MVP, and he hit a record 377 home runs at the plate. And so it got me thinking, man, when we talk about some of these Hall of Famers, there probably might be some people that said that, Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones and Jeff Kent gets into the Hall of Fame before Barry Bonds and before Roger Clemens. And so it got me thinking, I want to play a little game with you. I want to see what you think. I'm going to pull up some people and I want you to tell me, are they Hall of Famers or should they be in the Hall of Very Good? So our first person that we're going to look at is Albert Bell, or as Brooks Robinson used to say, Albert Belly. Albert Bell, left fielder. His glory years were with the Indians. He had a career batting average of 295. He only hit 381 home runs. I thought he hit more home runs than that. He drove in over 1,200 runs. He had a 93% on base percentage. He was a five-time All-Star, a five-time Silver Slugger, a three-time AL RBI leader. He was 1995 Sporting News Player of the Year. In 95, he led the American League in runs scored. He was the home run leader that year as well with 50. He's the first player in Major League history with 50 home runs and 50 doubles in the same season. That was 95 when he won MVP. He finished in the top three MVP race for 3 years, 94 through 96, and he had 9 consecutive 100 RBI seasons. Is he a Hall of Famer, Calvin, or is he in the Hall of Very Good?
Let me add to that Albert Bell had an attitude by most accounts, and he often stayed injured towards the end of his career. I would say, especially with what they're putting in people now, I would say absolutely Hall of Fame.
Wow. Wow. Why would you say Hall of Fame?
You had to be there. You were around when Albert
I
Bell was
was there.
playing. The
I
boy
was
was a
there
menace.
when he
The
was
boy
hitting
was.
them with the
That's what I'm
bicep
saying.
when they found
The
the
boy
cork
was
back.
a menace. The
He was.
Albert Bell got hit with a baseball
Yes.
and did not want to go to
It
first
was a
base.
walk.
He was like, nah, I ain't taking that. Albert Bell was a Hall of Famer when he was at his peak. Because of the injuries in his career, he might be Hall of Very Good. But I'm going to give him Hall of Fame.
He did play the early part of his year in a very cavernous Cleveland stadium before they built the new one. And imagine if he played in the new Cleveland stadium, or in Camden Yards all of his career. I think he probably would have a lot more home runs. I'm surprised he does not have 400 plus home runs. For a power hitter, he was a great average hitter. I mean, this guy had a 295 average, but for a person who was a quote unquote home run hitter, I was expecting a little bit more home runs. I would say Hall of Very Good. I would say Hall of Very Good. For a power hitter, I want my power hitters to have at least more than 400 home runs. All right, let's go to the next one. Your boy Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa, he had a 273 batting average. Had over 500 home runs, 609 as a matter of fact. He's in the 600 club. Over 1,600 RBIs, 87% on base percentage. He was a 7-time All Star, 6-time Silver Slugger. He won MVP one time. I think that was 98. 98. He was a two-time National League home run leader in 2000 and 2002. Oh, we lost Calvin. Hopefully, he's going to come back. He won the home run derby in the year 2000, and he was a Roberto Clemente Award winner in 1998. That's the same year that he won MVP. But with Sosa, we do have the allegations of steroids. Sosa came through in the steroids era. And so this is possibly why we have not seen him in the Hall. But for me, a guy who was a power hitter, that was his claim to fame. He has over 600 taters. This is a guy that's definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any doubt that he should be in the Hall. As a matter of fact, I think he should have been in the Hall of Fame before Jeff Kent, before Andrew Jones, and before Carlos Beltran. Um, I think those years in Chicago as a Cub were monster. He had several monster years where he had 50 plus home runs. I think for a string of at least 4 or 5 years, this is where he hit the majority of those home runs to get over 600 home runs totally. Um, he was a very fair defensive player out in right field. I think he did well out there in terms of his arm, in terms of his play. So I think Sosa was good in that aspect. And so I think Sosa should be in the Hall of Fame. I think, the majority of his, stuff was done in Chicago under those, things of steroids. But I think he was a great producer. This guy was a power hitter, and his numbers show that. Calvin, what you think? You think Sosa is a Hall of Famer or Hall of Very Good?
Sosa got caught cheating in more than steroids. He got caught with a cork bat. Hall of Fame, Sammy Sosa. There was a time when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire, they are credited with
Yeah,
saving
for saving the
baseball
game.
at that time. If you remember that, they
Mhm.
credit them with saving baseball. So you can't give that guy that moniker and then turn your back on him now. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. I agree with you. All right, and our last one. Now, this is the one that's special. This is kind of like got a Maryland
Sweetness.
connection. Sweetness. Harold Baines. Now, Harold Baines, a majority of his career, when he started off, he was a right fielder, but for most of us, the majority of his career was spent as a designated hitter. He batted 289. He only had 384 runs. Home runs. He drove in over 1,600 runs. He had a on base percentage of at least 82%. He was a 6-time All Star, one-time Silver Slugger Award. He's in the Hall. Did he make the Hall of Fame in 2019? Is this mute? I might have him
I,
up here mistakenly.
I thought I didn't think he was. I thought he was just on
Okay,
the ballot. Did he
he
make
got
it?
elected by today's game era committee, but and so he
Okay.
did not go in on the regular ballot. But did you think this was a regular ballot guy? You think he should have went on the regular ballot? I mean, he had almost 3,000 career hits. Um, again,
Mm,
another guy that played in a very large stadium. He played in Comiskey Park. Uh, People weren't hitting a lot of home runs in them old parks. He had some good years in Oakland, but still, that's another big part. Came to Baltimore mostly as a designated hitter. He was kind of tailing off towards that time. But what are your thoughts?
No, so I would put Harold Baines in the Hall of Very Good. Unlike Albert Bell, I don't think Harold Baines struck fear in anyone's heart. I think Albert Bell was Mr. Consistency though. Like you almost guaranteed he's going to hit the ball hard, and play hard. But I thought he was Hall of Very Good. Harold Baines, however, is one of my favorite players. I didn't
Yeah,
think he was Hall of Fame worthy, but I'm not mad that he's in the Hall of Fame.
we what we call Harold Baines back in the day. He was a professional hitter. You know, this was a guy, he hit the double, single, whatever you needed. Somebody was on base, Harold Baines was going to drive him in. And you can see that by he's driven in over 1,600 runs. You know, this was a guy that, you know, he didn't necessarily have big power numbers, but he was a person that got runs across the plate. And so, yeah, I agree with you. Hall of very good. He was solid as a batter. Really did not have any impact on the field in terms as a fielder, you know, because he pretty much was a DH most of his career. He had bad knees. And, you know, we really did not, you know, see like a five tool type of player in Harold Baines. All right. And so that's our first edition of Hall of Famer or Hall of Very Good. And so, man, let's get to the thing. My man Calvin wanted to talk about this. The Shy. For all you fans of the B.I.G show, you would know that when Calvin and I first started doing this several years ago, right at the in the middle of the pandemic, kind of like at the beginning of the pandemic, although we talked about the Last Dance, that was the show that kind of got us started, the Michael Jordan, well, the Chicago Bulls documentary. We veered off to start doing some TV shows. And so one of our main TV shows that we used to review and discuss was The Shy. And The Shy, we did a couple seasons of The Shy, but then The Shy really got dumb. As they would say, they jumped the shark in a lot of sense of the storylines got real crazy, all of these particular things. And what started off as like a pretty decent, a pretty good show just went totally left, totally unbelievable. Well, every year that the Shy would get renewed, we would be like, it ain't get canceled yet. And the Shy made it through 8 seasons. I swear, I think Calvin after season 4, we used to be on the death watch every year. We'd be like, all right, they're gonna get canceled this year because that was trash. This season was trash. They're gonna get canceled. This season was trash. They're gonna get canceled. They still ain't get canceled. So yeah, the Shy just had his series finale last week, and so uh Calvin, I went here and I took a look, and I'm sad to report the Shy is still trash. It's still trash. The storyline, this year's storyline, I don't even have to really watch it because I've been on social media. People are just ripping it apart. They're doing little like vignettes on TikTok, acting out the characters and the trash storylines of the Shy. Um, in terms of a fitting series finale, when I think of stuff like Insecure and what was our other show that was on Oprah that we used to like, that we used to review as well? Just on the go ahead.
On Oprah.
Yeah, it was on Oprah's network. It was the
Oh,
dude and his two sisters. They
the one,
had the
yeah, the one about the farm,
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah,
Ralph
yeah.
Angel.
It was Ralph
I
Angel.
forgot the name of the
I
show.
forgot the name of that show. That was a great series finale. Okay. This was just a collection of vignettes. Just the storyline didn't make the storyline this year was that our man was getting
Spoiler
married.
alert.
Spoiler alert. Let's go ahead and do a little spoiler alert. Um, and I'm so disconnected from the characters now. I can't remember character names, but our boy was getting married. Emmett the manhole was getting married. He's married Keisha. Now, if you remember a couple years ago, and I think it might have been the second year of the show, Keisha got kidnapped by um, a man that lived in the neighborhood who was keeping her tied up in the basement. He was graping her and everything, and everybody was looking for Keisha because Emmett and Keisha kind of started off as like little boyfriend and girlfriend in this first season. Keisha was hiding under the bed. Emmett had the three baby mothers and all this other stuff. And so the show was really centered on the three little boys, Papa, Jake, and Kevin. But as the show began to grow, they forgot all about the foundation and just started going left. And so Keisha's baby daddy, Nuck, who was a murderer, he was a killer on the show. Next to Duda, he worked for Duda. He got killed, and so Keisha upset because her friend, he killed her friend's baby daddy, and in turn she had somebody kill him, and so she mad at Tiff because Tiff killed her baby daddy. But Tiff is like, well, your man killed my baby daddy. Calvin. Anyway, man, go ahead, Calvin. What was your thoughts on the season finale?
First of all, Garland, you're wrong. You are wrong about this
Now
one.
we can
And
disagree.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the critique of the Shy. The show started off strong, had Brandon on there, and Brandon
Yeah.
did his
Brandon
little
was a great
sexual thing.
character.
And
Jason
once,
Mitch, yeah, he
yeah,
got
once
fired
that
from the show.
left, it
Yeah.
it yeah, the show just started going everywhere, and it was wild. Like it was, you still had to watch it, but it just wasn't good. But however, this final season wasn't horrible, and the finale was fitting for the Shy. I'm telling you, man,
Yeah,
they
time.
brought almost everybody back.
Right.
It was good,
They needed to
man. It
bring
brought
Ronnie
everybody
back.
back,
The
and,
best character that they had on there,
and
that Ronnie, they killed him. They needed to bring Ronnie back from the dead.
hey, man, Keisha and Emmett, like Garland was trying to explain, Keisha and Emmett finally
Mess.
her baby father Rob, and then when I don't want had nothing to do with you anymore. But Emmett was like, she gonna always be in our lives because I got a
Right.
baby by her. Because remember, Emmett had married
Right.
Tiffany for a
Tiff.
little while,
Right.
and that ain't work out. But he had a baby with him. In the meantime, Trig, who is the transsexual like he was protecting Tiff, and they was trying to put the murder on Bakari, who
Oh my God.
was who
Who killed
killed
Ronnie, the
Ronnie
best character on there.
Because Ronnie killed Coogee at the beginning, which actually started
Right.
everything on the show. But then Reg, who's Trig and Jake's brother, the drug dealer, he said, I want my brothers to love me, so I'm gonna do something so they can love me. So he took the charge. So he went to jail for all of it. And then everybody was happily ever after. And at the wedding, Kevin came back. The big girl that liked Kevin and was dating Papa came back.
Yeah, she came back. She
Um,
was the MC.
oh,
She was
oh,
the grandfather.
Keisha's mother, and stepfather came back. They was on the show. Duda's girl, that the light skinned girl that Duda was messing
Yeah.
with, she came
Yeah,
back
he
to the
went to see
wedding.
her on the
The
roof.
only people that wasn't at the wedding was Emmett stealing drunk ass brother, Lala, and
Right. Lala wasn't at the
Candy.
at the
They didn't come. Oh, and Frederica Douglass. They weren't at the wedding. They didn't come back at the
what
wedding.
happened?
You remember
They ain't bring
Frederica
Frederick
Douglass
Douglass.
that
I
was seeing
remember Frederick
Kevin?
Douglass.
She was seeing Kevin, and then she was seeing Jake. She cheated on Kevin with his best friend Jake. Hey man, but the
And then she
finale
started
was not
sleeping
bad.
with
I gotta
Bakari.
disagree with him.
Then she was about to get in a relationship with Bakari's sister, who just came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, Bakari's sister.
Bakari's
I
stud
forgot about that.
twin.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then they did a lot of homage to a lot of shows. They did an homage to Menace Society, and Bakari got shot, but he survived.
Right.
He survived, went to Atlanta, grew his hair out. He got one of them Lionel bushes
Right.
from the Jeffersons. If you
And the
remember
baby and the girl by the
Light
baby.
skinned
Right.
Lionel Bush,
Light skin Lionel.
the girl pregnant. The light skinned Lionel, because he had the headline going back and then the bush was coming
Yes,
forward. So it's the light skinned Lionel Bush.
bro.
And I
All
forgot,
right,
yeah, the
go.
girl was pregnant. They found her on the street, and she
Thi-
came and started
This the
living
one,
with Kevin
Calvin.
and them. So then she ended up with the house.
Emmett steals Smokey.
What's
He
the one?
steals Smokey. Emmett steals Smokey business from him But then a year later,
Hey man,
he done
Smokey
franchised
died, but then
Smokey.
Smokey came back to
Then
life.
Smokey came back to life. He done franchised
Smokey
Smokey in
Smokey was
Atlanta,
dead.
Chicago, and Las Vegas.
Houston
When did they get to
and
Las
Chicago.
Vegas? And it was in Las Vegas.
Because they had the gay girl. No, they had the gay girl go out this season and help franchise, and she took Kyla Pratt with her. Remember Kyla Pratt from
Yes,
the
yes,
show with
yes,
her and Flex, um,
yes.
One of Us or whatever it was called,
One of us.
and she's on the show now.
Right.
And what's her name is
Mhm.
on the show? Carucci on the show too. Carucci, she on the show too. So yeah, man, it was a good finale though,
She
Garland.
had
It
Dion
was
stove
very touching
in the
finale.
jar. No, bro. No, it was the
She said,
dumbest.
she said the guy from Power that Ghost and Tommy and them ain't like that everybody thought was going to kill Ghost, but he didn't kill Ghost. It was his son killed
Right.
him. But the light-skinned boy, I forgot his name in Power, but he was a preacher in the Shy, and him and Karuchi seeing each other.
You know what I think was the worst thing about this? Okay, we get these three characters: Papa, Kevin, and Jake. By the time we get to the season end, it's like Papa and Jake ain't even on the show. We know Kevin left to go be a gamer, but Jake, they like Jake can't act. They didn't give Jake no good storyline. All Jake did was smoke weed and he slept with the pastor's wife.
Nah,
Uh,
Jake had a little clothing store, and then he got his new little light skinned girlfriend. Jake did a little bit, but it wasn't
Jake
focused
ain't
on him
do
and Papa.
nothing,
Like now,
and
Papa, they
Papa,
really got rid of his storyline. They
right?
got completely rid of his.
Papa had the podcast. He was doing all this, that, and that. Then Papa was kind of like the conscience of the show. And then Papa, yeah, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Watching it,
The
I got
finale,
all mad.
the
Yeah,
finale
watching the
was good,
finale.
y'all.
No,
It
watching
was
that
good, y'all.
finale
Don't
got
listen
me
to
all
Garland.
mad again. Of how I swear Lena Waithe must have had some pictures of the Paramount executives that forced them to keep on airing this show because this
Don't
was
listen to
pure
Garland, y'all.
D trash. And then they gonna call it the last dance. Your dad
Don't
gonna
listen to
write it's the
Garland, y'all.
last dance because it's over. She got up that morning talking about I don't trust Tiff. I don't want to have the wedding at Tiff house. Well, Emma said, well, I mean, we always gonna be in each other. Like, well, I know where we can have it. I'm gonna go ask old boy who had just got out of prison, who was Trig's boy, but now he got himself together. We want to get married in your. How, Calvin? That's not even realistic. You got a wedding
Well,
planned
that's
that day.
because
You didn't
that's
pay for
remember.
all the stuff.
No, remember Shard. So remember, that's because Emmett's father, he gave the
Yeah,
house to
he gave
Shard.
the house to
So Shard
Shard.
was just getting ready to move in. And they just wanted to use Shard backyard. Now they did it in
Trash.
one day. How they got the tent and everything
Right.
up, I don't know.
Come on,
But they did it.
Calvin.
They did it.
They did it. They did it in one day. They moved everything over to a backyard.
It's the
Then
Shard, man.
Bakari gets the drive by while he moved. Yeah, like it. Uh, uh,
That's the menace to society homage, man.
bro,
That's
that's why
how
I'm saying.
Kane got
That's why.
killed.
That's why I'm saying this show was trash. He should have. Kane died when he got ambushed by a submachine gun. Kane died. But here we got Bakari with this little ghetto book, signing books with babies.
Garland, we already know that you're a redemption hater, Garland, because Damar Hamilton should have won
Oh God, here
comeback
you go.
player of the
Here
year.
you go.
We already know that you're a hater of redemption.
Here you go. Here you go. He, he lived. That's why he ain't get it. Anyway, y'all don't waste y'all
If he'd
time
have
on that.
died, he couldn't have been comeback player of the year. He'd have been gone, just gone.
Don't waste y'all time on that. Anyway, we come to a part of the show that everybody loves. Come on, yo. And I got a quick come on, yo. Okay. I want people, come on, yo, these youth that are hanging out down Fells Point, and y'all acting all a fool all over the city. I do want to say this though. This is not the mayor's fault, and we should leave the mayor alone. The city has done everything in its power to provide activities for youth throughout the city. We got extended hours for Parks and Rec. They got all these pools open. They just opened several new recreation centers. When I was going to the rec centers when I was young, these things were built in 1920. And they ain't had no AC in them or nothing. I mean, you could barely do anything in them. But now you got these state of the art recreation centers. You got these pools that are open, these neighborhood pools. I remember when I ran the summer camp, we used a neighborhood rec center pool. It was a neighborhood pool. It was over off, it was at Abbotston, it was behind Abbotston Elementary. It was over in that area. And sometimes the pool didn't work. I mean, it was like maybe one of two or three pools that was open in the city outside of the main pool. And now they have several, and they have extended hours. They got all these things. And, parents have to take responsibility for their children after a while. There's no way that your 13-year-old or your 15-year-old should be hanging out in an adult entertainment area at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And he gets unfairly blamed for a lot of these things where I really think the city has met its obligations. And so come on, yo, let's start those parents who are not really just watching your kids. Let's start doing that. I mean, we shouldn't have to be at AFRAM and they have to screen youth coming into the park because youth are running through the park, you know, um, doing menacing behavior and things like that. I was a youth once. I was a teenager once, and we never really had that issue. And we had less than what a lot of our youth have in terms of activities and amenities and all of these things. And so um, we need our parents to step up and to do more. It's not the city's job to police and raise your child.
Absolutely agree. You were talking about the pools earlier and the kids throwing stuff in the pools, making the
Yeah.
pools. You can't use it now. We might have jumped the fence and swam in the pool and got put out, but we
Hmm.
still wanted it to be open the next day.
Right.
But you can't throw stuff in the pool and shut it down. So yeah, you got to take advantage of the things that the city affords you. You're only hurting yourself when you do not do that. And world of social media, the way that people are looking at you, you're not helping any cause there either. So let's get it together, parents and children, like you said. um my come on yo is for one of the ushers or attendants at the Baltimore Oriole game. So we go to the Oriole game and we sit in
Oh,
the same spot. And
yeah.
then one game I didn't go to, and Garland told me the girl was like, "Where's the guy? What she say? The guy that talk too much? Did she say I talk
Yeah,
too
dude,
much?"
where's the guy that talks all the time?
Yeah, bitch. I seen you Friday and you acting like we was friends. She was like, "Hi, is everything good with you?" Bitch, everything is good with me. But what the fuck? You just go, so you just like, I'm not going to know that you ran your mouth about me. Bitch, wipe my seat off and get the fuck out of my face, you old ass hag. That's exactly why the fuck your knee is in the old brace now and you hobbling up and down. And you think I'm gonna give you a tip for wiping my seat off? Bitch, come on, yo. Don't be, who you talking to? Who you talking about, ho? Don't, hey, fuck you, yo, bitch. And that's my come on, yo. Cause you don't be talking about me and shit. Fucking hoe. I pay a lot of money to go to them games, and you think I talk too much? Bitch, it's my right to talk. How about the fuck you
Um,
always hovering over me and shit, sitting close, standing too close to me when I'm sitting down? Darling, you see, I be like, yo, what the fuck? She can't stand on the other
she be
side.
standing right over top.
Yo, bitch, I know you like me. And instead of saying where the guy that I like, you want to say where the guy that talk too much. That's because you know you ain't got no shot, bitch. Whether I was married or not, you ain't had no shot. Fucking haggard ass bitch. You ain't gonna be talking about why you ain't saying it in my face, hoe. Why you ain't hoe? Fucking bitch.
All right,
Matter of
y'all.
fact, matter of fact, matter of fact, matter of fact, Garland, hit the clap, cause I feel it coming. Hit the applause. No, hit the not the applause. Hit the drum. Hit the drum.
Hit
Not
the
the
drum.
applause. Hit the drum. I
Wait,
feel
wait,
it
wait,
coming. I feel it coming.
Not
I
the
feel
clap
it
thing.
coming.
Okay, you feel it coming. All right.
That attended, y'all. Bitch. Don't
Let it go.
bitch. You the second recipient of the whatever we call the double whammy award. Ben Roethlisberger was first, and your ass
Right.
is second. That's all right.
Okay.
I'm done.
You got y'all. All right, y'all. It's that time of month. So it's happening. She said something back in May.
Well, we ain't been on in like 3 months, so I just remembered. When I saw Friday, I was triggered.
Got you. There she is.
Oh
She
fuck yeah,
probably just
ho.
forgot. She probably forgot what she said. All right, y'all. Hey, man, we got another one in the can. We might be back next week and all before we really head into more vacation season and the end of the summer and all that other great stuff. So keep hope alive.
Yeah, man. Again, we're live on, excuse me, live on YouTube right now. You can catch us on all the podcast
Yeah,
platforms. And if you have Spotify, you will get to see our beautiful faces. So, yeah, man, another good show. And we'll hope to see you again next week. Garland, you got the outro?
there it is. I got the right one this time.
Hey,
You
man.
know,
And
did
look,
the
look,
intro for
I
the
ain't even
outro.
You
want to
have been
have to cuss her
listening
out
to the
because she
B.I.G.
old.
Show.
But
This show
I
was
just felt
produced
I
and
felt
written
it
by
coming in my
Calvin
soul.
Coates
Like
and
I
Garland
owed it to
Thomas for All
myself to
Things
defend
Black
myself.
Productions. Follow us on all of your podcast
That
media
lady,
platforms.
she was just trying to have a little chuckle.
Not at my expense. You better chuckle at somebody else's motherfucking expense. All right,
All
man.
right,
Let me
bro.
get out of here.